now, right now. Right 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 now, right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. I got a real good feeling.
Well, hello everybody. Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and in today's video, we are going to be doing some Ethereum technical analysis, and we are going to be going over our Ethereum price predictions, as well as a lot more. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin a little bit later, and we have some funny news coming out of none other than Charlie Munger, who has decided to come out, unfortunately for him, against Bitcoin. He is saying that Bitcoin is essentially the work of the devil. That's basically what he's getting at. We're going to talk about all of that and more in today's live stream. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are new here, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We promote a lot of content regarding Bitcoin. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling very good today. As I said in chat a second ago, cool story that sounds like it is made up, but is 100% true. I was hunting this weekend and came across a 300-pound black bear that I tried to fight like you guys wanted me to, and it ran away in fear. Again, that sounds made up, but if you want, Zach can come in the room and confirm that this is in fact true.
Definitely not high. Zach can indeed confirm. We're also joined, as always, by Smay, our resident Smangatang. How you doing, Smay? Smay, how you doing, bud?
Hello!
Hello. Are you looking forward to this week?
Yes.
Are you looking forward to Tim roasting all of your price predictions?
No.
Tim, we're going to get to price predictions later. Guys, we have a lot that we need to cover in today's live stream. Drop a 1 in chat if you were excited. We are going to answer one question to start with. And just so you guys know, we have some fancy announcements coming on a little bit later. So guys, one question. Let's start with one question. Get the chat engaged. Go ahead and drop it. Tim, will you help me to pick one?
A good
when
question.
They come through. A good, hopefully, yes. Hopefully a good question.
At the moment, all of them are about me fighting the bear. Or, I tried to fight the bear. The bear ran away.
Why don't you tell a little bit more about that story while we're looking for questions?
I mean, there's not a lot to say there. We were out there. We were in the Ocala National Forest looking for hogs, and we came across again, it's hard to say if it was really 300 pounds. It was a big black bear. And in its defense, it was already running when we came across it, but it took one look at me and kept running. So that's all I'm going to say.
Someone asked, did Tim bag 9 bears on one hunt?
I wish I could have bagged 9 bears. The problem was the other team didn't show up to play the game, so no touchdowns were scored, unfortunately.
Well, we can see the effects of Tim making the Bears run off because the Bulls have been on a rampage ever since this weekend started. Guys, we made a prediction. I made a prediction on Friday that Ethereum would more than likely go to $3,200 by the middle part of this month, and it happened a lot earlier than we even thought. Now, to be fair to myself, I did add a caveat to that video. Hey, guys, I'm being conservative. This might and probably will happen a lot earlier, but it's really interesting that the technical analysis played out exactly the way we thought it would. Here's the deal, guys. When you're doing technical analysis on a market, you got to understand a lot of times it's going to be accurate if you're doing your technical analysis correctly. I'm very happy to say that the prediction that we were making came true even earlier than we thought it would, which means that I guess that's like half right. We were right on the price, wrong on the duration. Guys, I want to go over a little bit of a story really quickly before we jump on in. Smay, if you can jump to my screen. Bank of England Bitcoinist. This is not a word. I don't know what they're getting at here, but either way, you can see this picture right here. Bitcoin fixes this. Little bit of graffiti action going on. The Bank of England has been lit by the Bitcoin sign this May the 1st, the People's Day, or in ancient time, the Day of Fire, when they would celebrate the coming summer and the strength of the sun by burning stuff, preferably rubbish, or each other. An empty street at the heart of London, once ruler of the earth and today keepers of the gold, the Bank of England was illuminated with a sign that says Bitcoin fixes this, as the picture above. Likewise, Parliament underwent much needed construction, both in form of its substance, with that for the first time in centuries that sits almost empty, was cheered up somewhat with Bitcoin fixes this. How Bitcoin is meant to fix the Parliament is not clear. This monkey institution willingly kneeled itself despite the objections of Lady Hale. Let's go back to full screen. This is pretty funny, guys. As you probably know, there are negative interest rates going on in Europe. There's all kinds of economic turmoil that we have talked about in many different episodes here of Coffee and Crypto. We're not going to get into all of them today, but I thought this was pretty funny and something that you might get a kick out of. Again, that is called Bank of England Bitcoinist, if you would like to look into that. Guys, we are going to start off the stream with a little bit of with a little bit of Ethereum technical analysis, and we're going to go over what happened over the weekend. Tim, did we ever get a good question before we jump in, or no?
No, not. I mean, some people asking, like one person asked and said they were noob. They said, should I hold or should I not hold? So I asked them what coin, because I think the question depends upon what coin. If you're talking about Bitcoin or Ethereum or even Cardano, for sure the answer is hold. When it comes to other coins, I don't know if I have the best answer to all of them, but if you want to specify what coin you're talking about, Jebb will be more than happy to answer.
Good deal, guys. Well, we're going to start over here with some Ethereum technical analysis. So as we jump onto my chart, you will see that Ethereum has rallied quite a bit over the last 7 days or so, all the way up 50% in 8 days, in fact, to a local high and an all-time high of $3,200. We arrived at a prediction of $3,200 relatively recently because of this pattern right here. We had an uptrending level of resistance and an uptrending level of support. That constitutes a trading channel, a rising trading channel, which is in this case acting as a bull flag, and predicted that Ethereum would rally higher. As you can see, we're able to make a prediction by extending our flagpole out over here, and that predicted that we would go to $3,200 before May the 15th. In truth, we went there much faster because, of course, we are in a parabolic market. This is the prediction we made, and I told you guys it will probably happen a little bit earlier, and it looks like that's exactly what happened. It went to exactly where we thought it would at $3,200. A lot of this has to do with technicals, guys. If you look at, in fact, all of it has to do with technicals. If you look here, you can see that on April the 26th, we had a bullish MACD cross on Ethereum, and if we look at this chart over here, I already have all of these charts, all of these bullish MACD crosses plotted. You can see whenever there's a bullish MACD cross, the market goes into a rally time after time after time. Again, the statistics are on your side if you go long when MACD is suggesting that you do so. In fact, if we look only 14 to 21 days out from every bullish MACD cross, you can see that in general, Ethereum rallies between 30 and 200% depending on which cross we're looking at. In this case, we have seen a 40% rally following this Ethereum cross. This Ethereum MACD cross. One thing I want to point out here, guys, is the RSI. It's currently sitting at 78. Now, that is not the highest level that we have seen RSI go to in the last year. In fact, on 4 separate occasions, we have seen RSI go even higher than that. Once right here, once right here, once right here, and then once just a little over a year ago back here in February of 2020. But that is an important consideration that we're going to need to keep in mind as we do further predictions on where Ethereum will head next, and we'll be talking about that more here in a little bit. Guys, I want to hear your thoughts in the chat. Where do you think Ethereum is going, and do you think Ethereum is about to break $3,200 and rally to like $4,000 or $5,000, or do you think Ethereum is going to consolidate? That's what we're going to be talking about today. I want to read chat for just a second, and then we're going to jump back into it. So let's make sure we're full screen, and let's see if there are any fantastic questions.
Charles Lau, I think it's pronounced Lau, L-A-U, I'm not really sure. There will come a day where the governments get fed up and ban this altogether. Jebb, what do you have to say about that?
There will come a day when the governments get fed up and ban this altogether. So here's the thing. The federal government attempted to ban gold. They attempted to ban alcohol. They attempted to ban drugs like marijuana and many other things. The problem with the government attempting to ban things is a simple problem of authority. If you're a parent and you try to prohibit your child from doing something that they're going to do and you can't stop them from doing, then the only thing you're doing is you're undermining your own authority, because all of a sudden, since you can't enforce that which you said you were going to do, you look weak. If I tell my kid, you're not allowed to breathe, and the kid starts, breathing, then that undermines my authority because I can't stop that child from doing that. That was a terrible, terrible example. I got distracted by his headphones. That was a horrible example.
I was just diddling with my watch, and all of a sudden it turned my phone up, and I was like, what the heck?
That was a horrible example. Anyway, guys, the point I'm making here is that authority undermines itself when it institutes a rule that it cannot reasonably enforce. Yeah. The government cannot reasonably enforce a rule against Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies because they are decentralized by nature. They could make it illegal for you to transact in it, but it's not going to slow down and it's not going to stop the adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. It's something that has happened and probably will happen again, but I'll leave this point on this. Every single country that we have seen ban Bitcoin within 24 months unbans it. It has never remained banned in any country for a long duration of time. Same thing happened in China. Same thing's happening in India. We're expecting the same thing's going to happen in Nigeria. And by the way, in the countries that it's banned in are the countries that need it the most and the countries where the governments are the weakest, so it's most likely to be adopted. Anyway, that's my point on that. Make sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, guys. We are headed to 100K subs. Thank you so very much for everyone who has joined us recently.
Yeah. There's another question real quick before we jump back into Ethereum.
Yep.
I think it's World Turtle asked this question. And I think it's a pretty simple answer, but there actually are probably a lot of people who have asked this question, so that's why I want Jebb to answer it. He was asking about how he saves his Bitcoin without turning it into cash. And so I inquired a little further what he meant. And he was talking about how, like, a lot of people are planning when they get to the top, a lot of people will take their money out in cash and then wait for it to drop back down and then buy the dip again. But he doesn't want to turn that money back into cash. How can he sell at the top, create a profit, but not have to go back into cash? I think that's a simple answer, but what do you like?
So is he saying that he doesn't want to sell it?
I think what he's saying, what he's really saying is he wants to convert it back into a stable coin. And that's the answer. Is you would put it into a stable coin like USDT, USDC, because like, let's say Bitcoin hits the top at like 300,000. I've seen people say 300,000 this bull cycle. Well, if it drops back down to 100,000 or 150,000 or something in a bear market, then you don't want to just sit there and let it do all that. He's saying, how can I take that profit and then get back into it? Jebb has a complicated answer. The easy answer that you're looking for, though, is that you put it into a stable coin so you don't go into cash. But Jebb might even have a better, because there's also a strategy as far as like when you take profits and when you just invest. Jebb, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so the answer of the stablecoin is perfect. One thing I would encourage you to do is ask yourself why you're taking profits in the first place, because this is a paradigm issue. It's not an issue, but it's a paradigm question. What is a paradigm is a method by which you look at the world, and this is something I can go into more detail on in a Sunday video or something. But at the end of the day, I'm measuring my wealth at this point by how much Bitcoin I have, not by how much US dollars I have. So to be honest with you, when Bitcoin goes up or Bitcoin goes down, that's great. It means Bitcoin has more purchasing power, but as far as it being more valuable in US dollars, I don't really care because I'm measuring my wealth in Bitcoin, not US dollars. So if I'm wanting to sell at the top and buy in lower, for me, and this isn't necessarily for you, I'm not trying to project onto you, for me, that's ideologically inconsistent, because if I'm measuring my wealth in Bitcoin, then selling at the top, trying to buy back in lower is not necessarily what I want to do. Now, if you're trying to trade, that's one thing, but then you get into the area of you're muddling your investment and your trading portfolios. It's not something that I would personally do, but we can go into more detail on that later. Let's go ahead and jump back onto the Ethereum chart, because I want to talk about where I see Ethereum going next, and this will detail why I made the prediction that I made that we will go over at the end of the live stream. Guys, Ethereum, as we talked about just a second ago, has rallied 47% in 8 days. Now the question becomes, are we going to continue this rally? Is Ethereum going to just continue to moonshot, or is Ethereum going to have some consolidation? Well, let's talk about that. On Ethereum, there is a very prevalent trend line. I'm going to go ahead and delete all of this TA, and we're going to start from scratch. We have a level of resistance at $3,200. We all know that. But we also have a trend line right here that you want to pay attention to. This trend line is constituted by this high over here back on the 20th of February, this high right here on the 15th of April, and we also see that Ethereum slowed down and tested it as support here on the 30th and the 31st of April, as well as a small touch right here. Needless to say, this is an important trend line that we're going to want to pay attention to. The question becomes, where does this flat level of resistance and this uptrending level of support, how did they play together? Because what this looks like to me is the potential forming of an ascending triangle pattern bull pennant. Let me back up. What is that? An ascending triangle pattern, as many of you guys who have gone through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy will know, link for that is in the description below, you will know that an ascending triangle pattern is constituted by an uptrending level of support and a flat level of resistance. These typically break out to the upside 70% of the time. If you're in TA and you know all the statistics, then you will be very familiar with the number 70%. These will normally break out 70% of the way through, which would be over here in mid-May, and they will normally break to the upside 70% of the time. The question now becomes, is Ethereum going to do that and wait that long, or is Ethereum just going to moonshot right now? Or is Ethereum going to have a big correction? Really, this is a classic question of up, sideways, or down. Which one comes next? Here is the thing. Ethereum is relatively overextended on RSI. We're sitting at 77, but we're also very bullish on MACD. On top top of that, the entire cryptocurrency market is rallying right now. Bitcoin's up 10% on the week. Ethereum's up 25% on the week. Dogecoin is up 44% on the week. And there's no sign of that exuberance in cryptocurrency markets slowing down. One thing that I will point out, however, is that this entire rally on Ethereum has been relatively low on volume, and if we look at the TD sequential, you can see that we're just a day away from a 9 flash. That is something we need to keep in our minds. As well as on top of that, we can see that Ethereum has been riding the outside of the Bollinger Bands. That, on one hand, means that we're expanding that means we're becoming more volatile, which is very good. That's a bullish indicator. But it also means that Ethereum potentially needs some corrective movements. Here's what I think based on all of this data, guys. I think Ethereum is going to need a little bit of time to trade sideways to consolidate and lock in gains, and then I think it's going to rally, and let me show you why I believe that. If we look at our MACD and we look at our TD sequential, what are we looking at right now? We're bullish on MACD, and we're about to hit 9 flash on TD sequential following a major rally. Well, if we look into history on Ethereum here, we'll see something very similar happened in early January. From Christmas Eve all the way until January the 10th, Ethereum rallied 140% in 17 days. As you can see, it hit a 9 flash on TD sequential on the 10th of January. It got overextended on RSI up to 90, and it was very bullish on the MACD. It had a very large rally, and all of this is consistent with what we're seeing right now. It hit a new all-time high, or excuse me, it didn't hit a new all-time high, but it came very close to hitting a new all-time high. What we saw happen here is that Ethereum started to trade sideways and slightly to the upside. It barely moved to the upside. It was consolidating. It was locking in gains. And as Ethereum was trading slightly to the upside like this, notice what happened. The RSI corrected into healthy territory. The MACD went bearish, but in a healthy manner. It looked like it was consolidating. The volume dropped off a little bit, but again, it was healthy. I think something similar is going to happen here as we saw in the beginning of January. I think that Ethereum is going to trade sideways and slightly to the upside over the next week or two into this ascending triangle pattern, and it's likely going to break bullish out of it. But I think based on all of the rally that we've seen, Ethereum is going to need some time to cool off. So let's go to full screen. My opinion on Ethereum is this. I think that it is very bullish. I think the long-term perspective on Ethereum is very, very good, but I think it needs to consolidate a little bit around that $3,200 level. I'm not saying it's going to have a big correction. I could see it pulling back in the short term down to as low as $2,900 and bouncing around in that zone. But I think over the next couple of weeks, we're going to see a break above $3,200 and move beyond that. So tell me what you guys think about that in chat. And Tim, I think you had an opinion on that if you want to weigh in.
On Ethereum?
Yes.
Just looking at it, here's the thing. I would love to be surprised and wrong. I just think so. First of all, it's clearly in uncharted territories. So I saw an article saying oh, Ethereum hits 3,200 for the first time ever. I'm like, well, it's done a lot of things for the first time ever in the last week. That being said, for all the same reasons you were looking at, you look at the RSI, you look at the MACD, you look at things. It looks, if you look at the past, and again, I'm a crypto noob, so I haven't been here for years. I've only been here since about January. But if you look at patterns Ethereum's done before, which is the amazing thing about crypto is it doesn't always repeat its old patterns because of how new it is. But if you are going to look at old patterns, it's looking like we're rounding. And as Jebb said, I'm not predicting a crash back down to 20, like 2,000. I think some people are asking about that. They're like, oh, is it going to drop back down to 2,000 so I can buy in? I would be surprised if it drops that far. But correcting back down to 3,000, maybe even correcting slightly below it, I don't think that's unrealistic, and I think that might end up happening.
Yeah, and guys, another thing that I want to mention, if I can get the chart to load, it doesn't look like it wants to, but there is a... over on the Ethereum dominance chart, I'm going to let this page load. It's not coming up, so we're just going to stay full screen for a second. Ethereum is increasing in market dominance right now, along with the rest of the altcoin markets. You probably noticed that Ethereum's market dominance and the rest of the altcoin market actually pushed Bitcoin below 50% market dominance over the weekend. And for this, we actually will switch to my chart really quickly. Smay, if you can switch us. You can see up here at the top of CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin's market dominance is sitting at 47.6%, and Ethereum is sitting at 15.8%. This chart, for some reason, is not loading. I wish I could show you. Let's see if it'll do it. The point here is that Bitcoin's market dominance, there we go, has been plummeting recently, and Ethereum's has been rallying quite a lot. And this actually is something that you guys are talking about in chat. I see a lot of messages messages going on in chat about the flippening happening by December of this year. Let's discuss that briefly. We can see that Bitcoin's market dominance at the beginning of January, February, March 14th, was sitting at 61.5% and Ethereum was at 11.8%. Ever since then, recently, Bitcoin pulled down to 50%, and as of today, it is sitting at 46%, while Ethereum was sitting at 14.6%, is currently sitting at 15.8%. Let's go to full screen. I just hammered you with a lot of numbers. I realize. Here's the point. Bitcoin market dominance go down, Ethereum market dominance go up. That is a very, very interesting trend, and one that we typically see at the beginning of what we call an altcoin cycle. You guys already know that the altcoins have been doing very well for the last 3 months. That's why Bitcoin has dropped from 70% market dominance all the way down to 47%. These altcoins are doing very well. I warn you, however, that the altcoin cycle normally lasts between 3 and 6 months. I think it's already been going on for about 2 months, and Ethereum is now catching up with the lower cap altcoins that have already been running for the last 2 months. I think the next few months are going to be very bullish on Ethereum, but you can't forget that no matter what Ethereum does, Bitcoin's top dog, and Bitcoin will always remain top dog. I could see Bitcoin completely destroying Ethereum market dominance over the next year. However, the next quarter, the rest of quarter 2, that probably will be the quarter of Ethereum. And I could very easily see Ethereum going to $4,000 or beyond in the next couple of months. I'd love to hear your opinions on that. And make sure you hit that like button if you are enjoying today's live stream. Thank you guys so much for everyone who is new here and who is joining us for the first time. We're about to hit 100K subs, and I would love for you to join us, so consider subscribing to the channel.
The interesting thing for Ethereum will be when we get to quarter 3, because that is July, and obviously that is when the London fork is coming out with the EIP 1559 conundrum and what's happening there. So the rest of quarter 2, great. And hopefully quarter 3 continues to build on that. But that is something that we are keeping our eye on, is what is going to happen with EIP 1559, what's going to happen with that London fork, because that is massive fundamental analysis that will either continue the rally for Ethereum or potentially put a small little like speed bump in the way.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, guys, what we're going to see happen is that Ethereum is going to continue to rally, Bitcoin's going to continue to rally. The entire cryptocurrency market is growing rapidly right now, and we don't want to miss out on that, and that is why education in the cryptocurrency market is very, very important. Many of you guys, give me a 1 in chat if you've been in the cryptocurrency space for less than 3 months. Shout out to our crypto noobs. We love our crypto noobs. If you're a crypto noob, welcome to cryptocurrency. We love having you here. I want to encourage you to invest in your education. You can do so with the link in the description box down below. Down below, there is something that I created over 2.5 years ago called the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. It is a course that I have been running for that long, and in the time that it's been active, there have been 3,500 students go through it and have used it to improve their knowledge of cryptocurrencies so that they are able to profitably trade and invest in this market. If you'd like to learn more, we'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of the stream. That is a lot of ones. Holy cow.
I love how like we're sitting here discussing Ethereum and Smay's like over in his own little world in the chat.
Yes, I know. I'm not going to repeat what Smay was saying in chat, but I did see it, just so y'all knew. Guys, also, by the way, I had a point to make. I have no idea what it was. Oh, I know what it was. Like the video. We have something special coming up at 1,000 likes. It's called Overtime, and we'll extend the stream by 15 minutes. So make sure to hit that like button if you are enjoying the content. Guys, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Warren Buffett's right-hand man, Charlie Munger.
Old Charlie.
Old Charlie.
Mungus.
Old Charlie Mungus, as Smay is calling him. Let's jump onto my screen, and we shall discuss. Warren Buffett's right-hand man, Charlie Mungus, says Bitcoin is, and I quote, disgusting. Charlie Munger, vice president of America's holding firm, holding company Berkshire Hathaway, which, by the way, is worth a cool $500 billion. Actually, I think it's worth around $250 billion at the moment. Lambasted Bitcoin during the firm's annual shareholder meeting. This happens once a year in, I believe it's Oklahoma City. Calling it a disgusting financial product that was invented out of thin air. Of course, I hate the Bitcoin success, said during a Q&A session, adding, I don't welcome a currency that is so useful for kidnappers and extortionists and so forth. Nor do I like just shuffling out of your extra billions and billions of dollars to somebody who just invented a new financial product out of thin air. Charlie Munger on Bitcoin today said, I should say modestly that I think the whole dang development is disgusting and contrary to the interests of civilization. And CoinMarketCap goes on to absolutely roast him and ends this little article with this. He owns a bank that launders billions per year and have been charged criminally. That's just... boom, roasted. That's pretty funny. Guys, let's go to full screen. Let's discuss this. Tim, you had a point to make about him owning shares in Coke.
Yeah, well, no, it was another tweet. So I think if you look at the page, there's another article and it lists. It's like literally young Twitter or crypto Twitter has no respect for age, and it goes down. And someone noticed like one of the key things he said was that Bitcoin is bad for civilization. But then it pointed out that literally Coca-Cola, wherever it goes, the number of people that are diagnosed with diabetes jumps. And who is the number one owner of Coca-Cola? It'd be Warren Buffett.
It'd be diabetes.
Charlie Mungus.
Apple diabetes.
What is it? Mungus. I'm calling him what Smith
Charlie
calls him.
Munger. His name's
Munger.
Charlie
Yeah,
Munger.
no, there's a lot of things. First of all, somebody even pointed out in the past, Charlie Munger has made it. He has a quote that is a very wise quote where he pretty much says, "I don't take an opinion on things that I don't know the opposite side's argument better than they know it themselves." And that is, I love it. I did debate in high school. I loved asking questions that I already knew the answer to, so I could trip up my opposing team.
Yep.
But this is clearly a case where Charlie did not take his own advice, because in the video he in other words says, "I don't really know what I'm talking about. I just don't like it because it's not the money that I have invested in."
Yeah, that's the thing. Let's go to full screen and discuss this.
Diabetes, yeah.
Diabetes.
I'm gonna make an NFT of me fighting Charles Chungus.
Charles.
Give
a 1 in chat if you'd like to see that NFT coming out of Smay. He's gonna make some NFTs, and I'm very,
put a
very
1 in the
scared.
chat if you'll buy it.
Put a 1 in chat if you'll buy it. Yeah, let's get an auction going
fighting Charles Chungus
for a
NFT.
Smay fighting Charles Chungus NFT. Guys, smash that like button if you were enjoying the live stream. Here's the deal. Charlie Munger is a very successful man. You know who's more successful? Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett was the one that started everything. Charlie Munger is successful. Oh, I hate to be offensive, but he kind of did start it by riding the coattails of Warren Buffett. I'm not saying he's not smart. I'm not saying he's not successful. I'm not saying that. Rode the coattails of Warren Buffett. Okay, no. I made my point. Here's the thing. They are very successful men. However, this is where the whole concept of paradigms come in. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, bottom feeder, they both, I'm joking, this is terrible, I gotta stop. Both of them do not like technology companies. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. They don't like investing in tech. That's been a position of theirs for 35, 40 years.
Because they're old.
That's not true. I mean, there's a lot
I don't
of
know
old
if that's
people
the point. I don't know if that's why.
But they're the grumpy kind of old people.
I don't think that. Anyway, here's the deal. They don't like tech companies. They invest in real estate. They invest in things that are more, how should I say, physical. They like gold, I believe. I would hope so. They are ideologically opposed to Bitcoin. Of course, they're not going to like Bitcoin. They don't invest in tech. They never have. They made a lot of money doing that, and there's a few things we can take from this. Number one, having a paradigm and a worldview that you approach things by is very useful, even if your worldview isn't totally accurate. They would have made a lot of money in investing in tech. Even back in the 90s, they were being criticized for not investing in tech. But they made a lot of money, didn't they? It's because they became very successful in that at which they focused on. And this is what we can take from this. We are ideologically aligned with Bitcoin. So we're not going to become successful because of Bitcoin. We're going to become successful because we worked on ourselves. And that's why I was joking earlier. I do have respect for these gentlemen. I do disagree with them, but that doesn't mean I don't have respect for them. They mastered something. And because of their mastery of investments, they became very successful.
Yeah.
We can do the same thing in cryptocurrency markets. Just because we're ideologically different doesn't mean we can't follow them in one aspect. We can invest in ourselves. That is where their success ultimately came from.
Yeah, no, someone pointed out in chat too, and I saw an article about this. First of all, Warren Buffett, I don't know that much about Charlie Munger.
His real name is
I'm
Munger.
so sorry.
His name's Munger.
I'm so sorry. I made a joke.
I don't know that much about Charlie Munger. I know about Warren Buffett. He made his money from being extremely successful at reading the markets, buying the dips, riding it high. But as someone even pointed out in chat, and I read an article about this, they have not beaten the S&P 500 in over 15 years, which means it seems as though, and I don't want to put this on age because I think there's a lot of people that are older in years who are still have a good thumb on the market. Unfortunately for Warren and Charlie, it seems like their thumb is slipping on their reading the market. And the truth is, again, they said it in this video, they really don't understand what's happening here. They have a lot of wisdom for investing. They have a lot of wisdom on how to handle money, but the world is changing, and I think what we're seeing is they're not necessarily changing with the times.
Yep.
There's going to be almost this exchange of hands. I saw someone comment earlier or maybe it wasn't this. I think it was another article saying that they think that the next Warren Buffett, because let's give Warren his respect. Let's give Charlie his respect.
Yes.
They are very wise men financially who
Yep.
are just seeming to get out of touch with what is happening in the financial world. But the next ones up, they're going to be like them, who are going to learn a lot from them and benefit, are ones who adopt cryptocurrency and move forward with it.
Yep. And at the end of the day, guys, the times change. You got to change with them or you're going to get left behind. With that said, let's go ahead and jump onto my chart and we will do some Bitcoin technical analysis. I know you guys would like to see what's happening with BTC, so let's go ahead and do it. As you guys know, Bitcoin had a relatively large correction of 30% over the span of 11 days. We pulled back to a local low of $47,000, and from there we have rallied 25% over the last 8 days. The very first piece of good news I can give you is that Bitcoin pulled back over the weekend and tested the 20-daily EMA, and we actually bounced off of it. This is a very strong sign. We broke through it here on the 30th, and the fact that we pulled back and tested it and bounced indicates that we are now in a strong uptrend. I was talking about over the week, last week, saying that Bitcoin needs to break the 20 EMA if it's going to confirm a bull market, if it's going to confirm an uptrend. That is what has now happened. We can also see on, I think it was Friday, we had a bullish MACD cross. We talked about that as well. This is a very important sign, and it is one of the things backing up my prediction that Bitcoin is going to rally here. Another thing to be said is that while Ethereum's RSI is sitting up here at 77, remember this whole idea of Ethereum having to pull back while Bitcoin goes up I was talking about. At the same time that that's happening, Bitcoin's RSI is sitting at 54. It's in the 50 to 70 territory, meaning it's in bull trend territory. That's very healthy, but it has a lot more room to run than Ethereum. And in fact, that makes a lot of sense if you look at the chart, because Bitcoin itself is currently $7,500 away from all-time high. Ethereum is only $100 away from all-time high. Now, of course, if we're looking at that by percentages, Bitcoin's 12% away, Ethereum is 3% away. Bitcoin has a lot more possible room to rally than Ethereum does, simply because it is undervalued right now compared to the altcoin market. And I think as people start to take profits in that Ethereum market and start to allow Ethereum to consolidate, some of these other major cryptocurrencies to consolidate, I think that value is going to jump into Bitcoin, and I think it's going to move into Cardano, which we'll talk about probably tomorrow. Make sure you tune in for that. Here's the thing, guys. I think that Bitcoin is about to have a pretty large rally, and a lot of it has to do with the daily chart, with the hourly chart here. Remember on Friday, we talked about our inverse Batman symbol down here. We got this inverse head and shoulders pattern that Tim so eloquently dubbed an inverse Batman symbol. This has a price target that we can analyze. This price target, if you do the simple price targeting analysis, gives us a target of $68,000. When does that happen, you might ask? Well, typically speaking, the time it takes to rally is going to take a little bit longer than the time it took to rally back to the neckline. This is a very technical part of our analysis. This is very specific and detail-oriented, but generally speaking, how long it took for us to rally from the bottom up to the neckline, you will normally take at least that amount of time to rally to the price target. So if we stretch this price target out like this, we should expect that at least, it's going to take at least until May 10th for us to go back to $68,000. Probably more like May 15th through the 20th, but we're going to more than likely see it happen based on the technical analysis that we've observed. We can see the same thing happening over here on this previous inverse head and shoulders pattern that we talked about in March. You can see here we had the breakout, and it took a very long time to get to $65,000 compared to how long it took to rally to the neckline. In fact, it took like 3 times longer than it did to get back to the neckline, but it did end up happening. I think we're going to see the same thing occur here. I think Bitcoin is going to break the neckline, which it's currently in the process of doing, and then it's going to rally. If you're doing some day trading, I would encourage you to pay attention to $57,500. It's a very important level of support at the moment. It is constituted by these local highs over here and all of our trading right here, and you can see that Bitcoin is currently below the 20-hourly EMA. If you're doing some day trading, pay attention to this. You want to see this rally above it, and if it does, you're going to have the ability to make a trade somewhere in here. We want to be holding 57.5. If we don't hold it, then there is a shorting opportunity. I would be hesitant to take it unless you're absolutely certain, because you'd be betting against the trend. Here's the thing that I want to point out finally here, and that is this. Bitcoin is in a rising wedge right now, and this very well may break to the downside based on this statistical analysis that I teach you guys in the academy. 70% of the way through these rising wedges, there is a 70% likelihood that we'll break to the downside. Where are we right now? We're 70% of the way through, 70% likelihood we're going to break down. There is a possible bearish break below $57,000 in the next couple of days. If that were to occur, we would probably pull back down to around $56,000 flat, which is a support level right here based on these lows, and then we'll probably bounce. I don't think we would pull back very far, but it is in the card, so I want you to be aware of it. Let's go back out to the daily chart. As far as where I think Bitcoin is going this week, we're going to get to my prediction here in a little bit. But I will tell you this. I think it's going to go up. I think we have very good reason to believe it's going to go up. But we also need to pay attention to this 9 flash coming in on TD Sequential tomorrow. We want to see a bit of a consolidation pattern, maybe a day or two at most, and then we can continue rallying to the upside. So let's go to full screen. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Where do you think Bitcoin is going, and are you invested in Bitcoin right now? If you're not, I'd love to hear why. And if you're looking to buy more Bitcoin, this might not be a bad time, guys. We're about $7,000 below all-time high. I think we're going to smash all-time high this month. I think it's going to be a fantastic month for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Tam, what are you doing in Bitcoin right now?
Well, real quick, I want to address something that happened in chat because I wanted to make sure it wasn't false.
Sure thing.
Just so you guys know, when we are looking at the charts, we do not look on Bybit's platform. And maybe this is why. I don't know if this is a scam. I don't know if this was actual reality. But I clarified. I went and looked at the chart. On Bybit, Jebb, Bitcoin dropped to 54,000 for a second and then jumped right back up. So is that just a scam? Is that Bybit being weird? Because it's sitting back now about the same prices. Because we usually look, what is this, Binance?
I'm looking at the Coinbase chart right now.
You're looking at the Coinbase chart? Okay, I'm looking at the Binance chart. But on the Bybit one, someone pointed out in chat, and they were correct, it did drop to 54. Which is, it literally, if you look, there's a wick down at 54 and it jumps right back up. Is that just a scam or is that anything going on?
No, that's just going to be an error over there on that exchange, guys. Yeah. You got to watch out for that. That happens on every exchange. That's why some people bash exchanges for scam wicks. At the end of the day, it's not actually something the exchange can do a ton about. It has to do with It has to do with the amount of liquidity on exchange. Sometimes the liquidity is just going to drop if there's not much interest in the market. It's a shame that happened. Hopefully no one got stopped out of a trade over there. But yes, I can see that wick on TradingView. Let's see here. What are your plans with Bitcoin this week, Tim? Are you going to be buying some this week like you normally do? Or?
I have a budget as to what I invest every single month, and I actually have already used all of mine. So I'm actually sitting in a position to sit and hold. If something interesting happens, my wife and I have talked about it. You guys have met, some of you have met Taylor. She should be on the show at some point. She's not feeling great today, so be praying for her. But we are kind of in a sit and hold section right now, and that's just because we want to make sure. I think Bitcoin's about to go up. You guys are going to see here in about, 5 minutes what my prediction is. Speaking of that, we have like 10 minutes before we go or done with the show. So if you guys want this show extended, make sure you hit that like button. We're sitting at 551 likes, and we need to be at 1,000 if we're going to extend the show. So that being said, if you have not hit that like button, go ahead and hit it. But to answer your question, Jebb, I don't have any plans to buy a new because I've already gone to the edge of my budget for this month and invested how I was going.
I'm very happy with how much Bitcoin I'm holding right now, guys. You guys know I already have a huge amount of my entire net worth in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and my portfolio just hit a new record because of this Ethereum rally. If you guys don't know this, sometimes it might seem like we hate on Ethereum on this channel because we talk about Cardano a lot. I love Ethereum. I have a ton of Ethereum. I like a lot. Okay, so I love Ethereum. Ethereum is a great project, and I do think it's going to do great things for the community. Guys, I've made all the points that I want to make in this show. Let's open up the floor for the last couple of minutes here before we go over our price predictions for this week. Let's open the floor for some questions. Guys, if you have any questions, it can be personal, it can be professional, it can be charts, it can be for Tim or Smay or me. Let's go ahead and see what we got.
Yeah, I want to answer real quick. Stymie, you asked it's May 3rd and you've already blown through your allowance for the month. The reason why, that is a good point. It is early.
That is a very good point.
So what I did was when everything dropped in April, we went ahead and jumped into our May budget while we saw everything really low. And if you guys are watching, I'm very glad I did that. So if I see something else interesting, or I see like almost looks like a guarantee something's going to jump really high, I might jump into June's budget. But at that point, I spent all of May's budget a couple weeks ago, and I'm very glad that I did.
Yeah.
So that answers that question.
So he is ahead of schedule on his budgeting. Are you doing it with dollar cost averaging, or are you just doing it manually?
What do you mean?
Okay, so that's
I literally, at this point, I'm using Coinbase. For my investing, I use Coinbase.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a feature for any of you guys who are new here. This is actually something I can explain to you that you might get value out of. There's a concept called dollar cost averaging. That's where you buy into the market at the same time every single week, recurring. It's something that you can set up on. It's called a recurring purchase on Coinbase.
Oh yeah, no, I don't do that.
But what it is dollar cost averaging. If you do that, the best day to do it is on Friday. I think that might be the only day they let you do it, but it's on Friday. Friday is statistically the lowest day, the lowest price day for Bitcoin. That's a fact that you ought to know. There's been a ton of statistical analysis done on Bitcoin. It always comes back that Friday is the cheapest day, probably because people get paid on Friday, and then they're selling Bitcoin up until Friday, and then they go crazy on the weekend and buy some because Bitcoin's awesome. If you're looking to get into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but you just can't find the money to do so, here's what I encourage you to do. In here, I have some coffee. This coffee probably costs about $2 a cup. I get it from I have cold brew, and I mix it with creamer and everything. You can cut coffee out and spend $2 a day. That's $60 a month. That's $720 a year right there that you can invest in Bitcoin once every single Friday. It's a way of accumulating Bitcoin in the long run. Guys, let me tell you something. 1% compounded for 365 days is $37,700. If you just put a little bit of money into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, it'll add up in the long run. I encourage you to start investing right now. And if you haven't already begun investing, here's something I need you to understand. This is something so many people do, and I talk about this and more in the Academy that's linked down below. You got to have an investment portfolio and a trading portfolio, and in only one case should the two ever touch. You should not be trading your investment portfolio, and you should only be investing the profits from your trading portfolio. That's the only time those two should ever touch. I have a trading portfolio. I have an investment portfolio. The profits from my trades go into my investment, and my investment stays there. I'm not trying to sell the tops and buy the dips with my investment portfolio. I'm holding it. Remember earlier we talked about how I haven't personally fact-checked this, but someone said that Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett haven't beaten the S&P 500 in 15 years. That's to say that these incredibly intelligent, wise, experienced individuals can't beat the stock market index, the S&P 500. Your best bet is to stop trying to time the market and stay in the market for a time. That's where you're going to have the most success. Anyway, guys, smash that like button. We have 6 minutes left until we have the potential to go into overtime. 1,000 likes and we will do so. Tim, do you have any other things?
I have a question. So there's been a couple of things asked, but I have a thought on this coin. That's why I'm asking if you have a thought first.
Okay.
Someone asked what your thoughts about Solana is. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't know the first thing about it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's hard to keep up with all these altcoins.
Yes. I don't know too much about the funnels. I know that they're tied in with Ethereum on, what's it? Oh, crap. I don't know. I don't remember the name.
Wait, what is it?
So what Solana came onto my radar when Trevor Lawrence, who was just drafted #1 by the Jacksonville Jaguars, announced that he was doing a deal with, what was that company?
What company was that? Blockfolio.
Blockfolio, not my bad. So Blockfolio, and it turns out that in that deal, he was being paid solely with Ethereum and Solana.
Crazy.
So while I need to learn more about Solana and all, if Trevor Lawrence is accepting money, I guarantee you, just because of that news, there are, just like me, there are a lot of people who heard about it and are looking into it because of that news.
Yep.
So do we know a lot about the fundamentals yet? No, but that piece of information is interesting, that Trevor Lawrence, who I think has a good mind for finance.
Ooh, someone said Solana is an Ethereum Layer 2 solution. I'm definitely going to look into that. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I just haven't gotten a chance to look into it. Guys, one thing I'm spending a lot of my time on right now is I'm reading through this book, Technical Analysis of Stock Markets. This was written in 1947, I believe it was. I'm learning all the basics and history of and brushing up on all the technical analysis that I know. Something that you should definitely do is continue your education. If you want to do that, you can do so with the link in the description box down below. You can join something that we have called the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, where I will teach you everything I know about technical analysis so that you can go and profitably invest in these markets. And in fact, we have something cool coming up at the end of this stream. I'm going to leave it at that. And we have a big announcement tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. Tim, let's go over our price predictions, buddy.
Yeah, let's do it. We got like 4 minutes left, so we're going to cover this. Again, if you want overtime, we need roughly 230 more likes. So if you want longer show, go ahead and hit it. We don't want to press you into it. So
mention the sport email also.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So if you have any questions we didn't answer, because I know there was a lot, you can email them to us, to our support team at support@cryptojebb.com, and we will do the best we can to get back to you as soon as possible. That being said, let's move to our predictions. In case you're new to the show, every single week on Monday, Smay, Jebb, and I predict what we think Cardano, Ethereum, and Bitcoin would look like on Friday at 9:30, and we have some interesting votes. Smay was trying his little tactic where he changes, because he was listening to our predictions, he was changing his price. We're not going to let him. So, Smay, do you want to read yours? And I'm going to keep you accountable to what's on this paper. So. You want me to read them for you?
Although, you know what I actually want?
What do you want?
I want people to click my link.
Click your link. Did you just post a link?
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared to click that link.
I'm going to post the link.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to click it.
I'm a little bit scared.
Just click the link.
I'll click it, but I'm scared.
Yeah, just click the link.
Just so you guys know, I have no idea what this is.
While you click the link, I will go ahead and read our predictions. Did you put it on the screen?
Here. Pull it up and I'll put it on the screen.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's amazing.
I'm scared.
Guys, it's my amazing Photoshop skills.
Oh my goodness. We're going to get in trouble for that. Oh no.
What in the world?
Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh.
All right, back to predictions. Let's go to full screen.
So.
This is not officially sponsored by Crypto Jebb. This is Craziness. Oh my
Craziness.
goodness.
Currently,
Nonsense.
Cardano is sitting at $1.34, and here is what we are expecting for this Friday. I think, according to our predictions, all three of us are thinking that Cardano is going to go up. If you're looking at the chart, I know, Jebb, we didn't talk about it today, but the chart has some interesting things. So go ahead and look at TradingView, look at the chart. But Smay is predicting $1.45, and I like that prediction, but I'm going to raise him a cent and say $1.46. But of course, Jebb had to then sandwich me in the middle, so it's going to take a lot for me to win because he said $1.50. That being said, I still like 146. I think we're going to be sitting around that. So if it stays $1.46 or $1.47, I'm sitting good. But let us know what you guys think on that one. Ethereum, this one we're also pretty close on, except for Jebb's. Smay thinks it's going to be 3,000 even. And on this one, they sandwiched me again because mine was $3,064, and then Jebb said 3,300. So this is rarely am I in the middle. I'm usually either higher than everybody or lower than everybody. But on this one, I think all three of them, I'm sandwiched in the middle. So let us know on that one. What do you think it's going to be? 3,000, 3,064, or 3,300? Last one is Bitcoin. Smay thinks we're getting up to 65,500. Smay is bullish on Bitcoin this week. I think we're moving up. I think though we're not going to make it above 61,635 or more. I don't think we're going to make it much above that. If you look at the charts, there's some resistance levels and support levels sitting right around there, and I think that's where Jebb got his prediction as well. I think he just looked at my playbook and he said 61,000 flat. So again, I'm sandwiched in the middle. If you are Team Tim, stick with me. This week looks rough because they did sandwich me, but that being said, this whole game is for fun anyway, so...
Hashtag cut the beard and chop the tree. Someone said hashtag cut the bear. I've been
Man, we might need to form an alliance, just you and me, and we'll just...
Swing in the tree with me and the beard.
We'll do what we can.
Bro, that's cheating. They're trying to form an alliance over here. Come on now.
Swing with the Smayatang in the tree with the beard.
You can't even say your hashtag.
That's our predictions. Jebb, I'm going to give back to you because I don't think we're going to get to 1,000 likes for this stream.
Looks like we're not, but that's okay, guys.
Oh, but guess what?
What?
We have something to show.
We do have a special ad, yes.
Ooh, let's do it.
All right, everyone. Quiet. Fade to black. I'm going to play it. You guys ready?
Execute Order 66.
Yes, my lord. Use coupon code May the 4th for $66 off the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Link in the description.
All right, guys. So just so you know, this coupon code starts at midnight tonight, everybody. Midnight tonight. You can use code May the 4th for $66 off the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy.
You're not going to want to miss it, guys. This is a big, big deal, and you're not going to want to miss it. More information on that tomorrow, guys. If you enjoyed today's stream, smash that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. We're about to hit 100K subs. Thank you so much for everyone who has joined us over the last several weeks. If you've been here for a long time, we greatly appreciate your loyalty and support, guys. That is going to wrap it out for today's video. If you did enjoy, hit the like button. I'm watching you. Do it. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it out for today's video. Before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.